Life is filled with disruptions. Now, I'm not sure if the Lord was working with me this morning because He thought He would help us illustrate some of those disruptions, wouldn't you say? A few little disruptions. So we have disruptions in our lives like bad traffic, load shedding, sound familiar? Not having Wi-Fi, which has become an essential thing for us. Not having water. Who's a Parkview resident here? On and off water here today, gone tomorrow. Disruptions happen in other things like cell phones in classrooms or meetings. But there can be major disruptions in our lives, like the death of someone we love, the loss of a job or employment opportunity, even moving to another place or another country. But not all disruptions are bad things. We get disrupted for all sorts of reasons. Some wonderful reasons, like the disruptions of having a new baby or a new puppy, or a wedding, or even moving to a new home that you've been dreaming of. They're still disruptions. They just happen to have something nice in it for us. Disruptions, although sometimes bad and sometimes inconvenient, help us to grow. At the beginning of Lent, the Lord is calling us to. Firstly, disruption. Lent is about disrupting our usual patterns of living. Lent is about setting aside a time where we do things differently, where we focus on different things as we prepare ourselves for the Easter week. Disruption. A disruption that has purpose for us to draw us closer to God. And that doesn't mean that we all have to move out into the desert and spend 40 days there with the wild animals. But it means perhaps a disruption in our thinking, in our understanding. Perhaps it means the Spirit driving us to seek God more carefully and clearly during this time. Is Lent about disruption? The second thing is, I think that Lent is about learning to rely upon God. We have this thing in our world that we must be independent. We want to stand on our own 2 feet. We don't want to appear weak and in need of others. We want to go it alone, do it alone, to be strong. Yet, the Lord is calling us to rely upon Him. The Lord is calling us to say, those who are weary and heavily burdened, come to me, for I will give you rest. Draw close to me, and I will minister to you. I will restore you. I will refresh you. Learn to rely upon me. Disruption to our usual patterns of living, and a reliance upon God for our lives. Thanks be to God. Amen.